want to go out and create the problems for her man to face. The fuck out of here. Be my peace. You want to be my war? Cut it. Cut it. I'm not aiming for war. I want peace. I'm going to have my peace at all costs. If that means that I can't be with the woman I want to be with, so fucking be it.
And you know what Devin said right there, man. You know, know your value, know your worth. Worth overcoming, rebuilding, teaching, help. That's what we really focus and concentrate on the most, man. And, you know, just even getting started from there. You know, this is the podcast where we try to keep it so honest and keep it so real that we try to make no mistakes with some of the demonstrations. Say something one time for me, fam.
Yo, it's your guy, man. Glow Muchacho, what up?
So, you know, I start filming you when you saying, can we be at peace instead of at war with our queens and with our ladies? And the proper demonstration with us being kings and we got our queens and when we really want to be there. See, it's different when we was in our 20s. We in our 30s, 40s, we approaching the real manhood now, right? The experiences we went through already. You know we went through our experiences.
Ain't missing nothing for real.
Look, we going to get right on topic because, you know, we go way back, man. We go way back. I got a lot of love for you, man. I'm talking about, I met you in my early 20s.
Likewise,
I met this gentleman in my early 20s. And now he's on the West Coast. I'm still in this Midwest region. We still doing music. We still giving the proper demonstration every time we touch the microphone. And I salute you majorly because he always still dropping fresh lines and fresh bars. And he's conquered so many places already in his lifetime. Tell him your name. Tell him a little bit about yourself, what you got going on, where you from, how they can find you, and all those things real quick before we get into this conversation.
All right, so if y'all checking for me, I could be found under Ricardo Nunez, a.k.a. Glowie Muchacho on YouTube. You know what I mean? You could actually go in the search bar and type in Glow Muchacho, and I should populate. Make sure you see Ricardo Nunez, though, when you do that. If you type in Glow Muchacho and Ricardo Nunez don't show up, then it's probably not me. You know what I mean? But yeah, Glow Muchacho, man. On IG, it's Glow Muchacho. You know what I mean? Glowy Muchacho on Twitter. And Michael Nesbitt on Facebook. You know what I mean? I don't really be on social media that much, but I do be running up my IG with my music and all that. So y'all tap in, man. Tune in, tap in. It feel good to be out here in the bus town. You know what I mean? Chopping it up with my brother Wallaby. You know what I mean? You know, every time I'm in town, man, I'm trying to tap in with this brother because we on the same type of time when it comes to this music for real, you know? Word.
And, you know, I only wanted him to introduce himself properly because, you know, it's really no rehearsals. You know, when we do our music, of course, when we writing or when we freestyling, when you freestyling, you going with the energy and the vibe. However that beat move you, your mind starts to, like an automatic AI. Like we was doing this before artificial intelligence. Wasn't nothing really artificial about our intelligence.
At all.
And that's what people don't really understand. So, like, when they get into talking about quantum AI, we've been quantum leaping into our reality, facing our fears, not ducking and running from no smoke when it was, you know, dealing with a male or a female. And what my man was doing at the beginning of this segment, he was just talking about some of the issues that some of us males, or us kings, us men face when we dealing with girlfriends, wives, ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, your mistress, whatever female you come across when you don't meet the eye. And we can't have a clear communication or conversation because your energy, your emotions is at high level. You going against us at all costs because you feel like you right. And when we ready to say, no, queen, we don't want her. We don't want to be that way. That could have been our old mind frame back then. We don't want to wear off with the mistress. We don't want to go astray with a lady who has no value to our future, our real success. Like me, been in a relationship as long as I've been in. I was just telling this guy since 21. And I'm early 40s. Children all with the same woman.
Still young, man.
Wife now. Grandson, grandpa status. No reason why I'm going to want to jack this off. playing no games with a street scallywag just because of her body or her flesh or her tongue or her lips. I mean, no disrespect to none of the females out there that's ever came across my path who wanted to be close to me or flirt with me or try to play the game with me. Like, my mind wasn't sharp. I'm an individual. I'm a king. I'm a strong black male. And all I was saying was, because the way I push record on this segment, you was talking about being at war with the opposite sex.
It's like crazy how they got us programmed. You know what I mean? As black men, we going outside facing the world. We at war with ourselves, for one, because that's where the war start, inside. So, you know what I mean? We battling inside.
Is the black woman, is the white woman, is the Asian woman, is the Puerto Rican woman, are they there to protect us black men at all?
Or the straight man at all? The heterosexual male.
In general.
We're the minority now, bruh. You feel me? We the ones who freedom of speech don't apply to, my G. We got to be mindful how we talk, bro. It ain't safe for no heterosexual black male to speak.
We can't say what we want.
Amongst each other, we can't say what we want.
So we can't say what we want to say?
Pause. Right? Right?
I really hate pause.
Hey, yo, fam. Hey, let me get a couple of them banana splits over there. Yo, pause.
Or that no diddy. Or no homo.
See what I'm saying?
I never use the phrase no diddy or homo when I talk to a person, a woman, a man. I don't even use that as a point of reference for myself, because I'm not even, that's not a part of my demonstration.
Food. Bring up a hot dog. Pause.
So in other words,
crazy,
Glow,
bro.
what you telling me is, in this state right now where we at as men, you saying we can't say what we want to say when we want to say it? Any way we want to say it?
We can. We just got to face what come with it.
And what you going to do? Hold on. So what you telling me? What comes with it when we be honest about our opinion about somebody or someone or this girl or this guy?
Usually a lot of verbal tongue lashings coming from all different angles.
We going to lose our contracts? We going to lose our sponsors?
Possibly.
We going to lose our weight in society?
Hey, you know what? You need to come up with this apology. You got to write a sincere apology to said, you know, whoever it is that feels like the heterosexual male, let alone black male, said something that they shouldn't have said. Most of the time, we just speaking from a straight black male perspective and what we feel like can be an improvement to life, as opposed to what we don't see as an improvement to life. We voice our opinions on anything like that, we usually get met with opposition.
Well, and not to cut you, because I'm going to let you keep rolling, because we got a lot to talk about. This is worth, overcoming, rebuilding, teaching, health. And what we talking about right now is the value of our current state. Is it just black men, two black strong males right now, giving the proper demonstration about how we feel about how society look at us, the views they give us, the backlash we get for being real and honest about something that we don't feel, and we should be able to say it like any other man in this globe, on this planet, should do. So knowing your value, knowing your worth, this is key. This is what this whole segment is really about. And we're going to go into a couple of different conversation pieces about why we feel we should be able to say what we want, We rap. And when you rap, you really can get it off your chest. So we got to be able to rap what we feel to not get judged and ridiculed, or do we still get torn apart? Because I remember the Tupac Shakurs.
Yeah, man.
I remember the Scarface. I remember the 50 Cents. I remember them Janet Reno attacking NWA at one point about censorship, censoring our rhymes and our lyrics. And now look at our society.
See, it was another form of trick knowledge, man. Because by them doing that, what it did was it fed our rebellion. Because we was going through a time, we was going through a phase where, hey, it's time for us to stand strong and stand firm. You know, we can't be letting these motherfuckers decide for us how we gonna move, or what's cool for us and what's not cool for us. We could do what we want, say what we want, who we really need permission from, right? So then when it comes to the censorship of hip hop trying to control the lingo, we standing on, we want to be able to cuss how we want to cuss. If we want to talk about fuck bitches, if we want to talk about suck a dick, if we want to say fuck the police, we should have the right to say all that shit. and we start standing on that, which make the rest of the world follow suit. So, all right, with that being said, when we know how influential NWA was, all right? So we start priding ourselves in freedom of speech. But then freedom of speech is one thing. Now, how we going to use our speech? This is where we fell short because we're not really all mindful. We're not so mindful about how we choose to use these weapons called words that fall off our tongue. See, the power of life and death is in what, Wallow?
Well, it's definitely what my mama always told me. Your tongue will get you buried, or your tongue might bail you out. Yeah. And the power of the tongue is so serious. Like when you look at the podcast world right now, when you look at social media right now, when you look at Twitter, X, when you look at Instagram, when you look at TikTok, when you look at all of these channels, words, post, your opinion, the lies, all become true to a certain level.
Yeah, because we out here manifesting. We speaking shit into existence, thinking we lying about some shit. I'm gonna just tell a joke real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and tell a fib, stare these motherfuckers off course real quick. I don't feel like going to work today. I'm gonna tell them I broke my ankle. That way they could give me like a week off or so, right? You didn't really break your ankle though, right? So you told that lie. Put that out into the universe.
So when you think about the president, for instance, right now, you got so much backlash about what they doing right now. Tariff. I'm raising all the prices and the percentages on tariffs. Words. 48 hours later, I changed my mind. I'm going to put a hold on the tariffs. Stock markets go through the roof. 2 days before that, tariffs. I'm raising the prices. Stock market goes down to the lowest it's ever been. So just by some words now, we just now witnessed some people lose hundreds of millions. And the people who paying attention to the wordplay he using make hundreds of millions in a matter of 3 or 4 days. What you got to say about that?
It's always mind over matter, and it's a timing thing too. These entities that's in place that got control over the media, they know the what, when, where, and how, man, to drop the proper language on us, the proper words on us, to get us all collectively on the same pattern of thought in accordance with our finances. If they say shit gonna be scarce on the news, think about how many people watching the news that's learning right then and there shit finna be scarce. And guess what the majority of the people gonna do? Start running around rampant, worried about the scarcity. So they're not even gonna think in abundance. They gonna think shit's scarce. Savagery is going to start. People is going to be trying to beat each other to the fucking punch. You know what I mean? Y'all see it every year on Black Friday when people was in stores crowded, lined up. They don't want somebody to get that toy before them or that television before them, that new iPhone before them. Everybody racing, elbowing, pushing and shoving each other, acting greedy as fuck right after the day that we take to be thankful for shit.
Well, you see what my shirt say, make America hustle again. Because see, with that,
stop being lazy.
Listen, with that topic on the table, make America hustle again. The whole demonstration with me with that is when they say make America great again, that always gave me a fear of what does this really mean? What does this guy mean when he say that? They got all these MAGA hats running around talking about make America great again. They like, man, he for the right thing, Wallow. Dude, for the right thing, man. Just trust me. Roll with us, man. And once you say, well, I ain't really got no qualms with the president. The president ain't never really stopped us from doing what we had to do.
No president
As
has.
Black folks, we've been through the lowest of the lowest if you understand our story. So his story, our story is different. All I'm saying is that I ain't lost no sleep since they got a new person in the position of running this White House that was built by the hands of the slaves. I'm going to say this ain't got nothing to do with race at this point for me, because it's almost as if these people using these words to attack those who don't have this intelligence that they need to still survive and get by. Make America hustle again mean you better step up to the plate. You better not be lazy by no means. If you're a grinder and if you don't know your worth and you don't know your value every day, Put up 100, put up 50, put up 20. Find a way to make your money. Find a way to be happy and smile, because the mental anguish and the mental stress, it's a mental crisis going on in the cities from all of the young people, the teenagers, the young black males. I'm watching so many young black males I see homeless, losing their mind, doing homicides, and then blaming it on schizophrenia and taking pills. I'm talking about, I'm a qualified mental health professional. So from a whole different angle perspective, not to change the subject, because we ain't gonna keep building on the same thing, but we gonna raise turn this knob up a notch. You've been rapping a long time. I've been rapping a long time, and we call it rapping, but we really talk about our real lives. Without rap, we wouldn't be where we are. Our reality came from our words and rhymes and the stuff that we wrote to be accepted. When we was listening to the Jay-Z's and the Nas's and the Cool G raps and the Scarfaces and the Ice Cubes, when we was listening to artists who were the voice of telling the story about the hood, we listened to some of the stuff they said that helped us learn. Like my dad wasn't there for me growing up when my mom was single and alone, because dad was running the street, selling drugs, doing drugs, going to jail, shooting, getting shot, whatever he was doing. So I was raised by the Scarface albums. I was raised by the Big L albums, Biggie Small albums, NWA albums, Helter Skelter albums, Dr. Dre's and Snoop Dogg. I could keep naming, I could keep naming them.
DMX.
So when we get into this,
LL,
your rhymes, my rhymes, and now we listen to the rhymes that's out there. Now we're going to get into this segment of the show. Worth, overcoming, rebuilding, teaching, help. Know your value, know your worth. Do these artists know their worth and their value from your perspective?
From my perspective, I'll say a lot of these artists, they go into it having no clue what their worth is. All they know is it be the most money they ever seen.
Come on, man. They on TV with big bundles of cash. They got more cash than me and you ever counted in our life. The biggest guns, switches, they talking about shooting. Who they talking about shooting?
Whoever these so-called ops
talking
is.
About shooting each other.
Bro. So make it look cool. Make it look cool. It's cool. Look at all this money I'm getting. Look at all these hoes I'm smashing. Fuck that nigga. It's always us against us.
Now we talking.
That's what's being encouraged.
I only interrupted you to get back to this point right here. All this money they got, they flashing, they juiced up, all over the place getting these bands. They got so much money. Is that the distraction?
Yeah, it's definitely a part of it. It's not the only distraction, but it's a major part of it. Because the society is functioning off of the circulation.
Do these artists know their value and worth? Do they know their value and worth? Is it because they got this money? Tell me, what's their worth?
Those that do know, sure ain't the ones we hear on the radio every day. They ain't the videos that's going viral every day. People going viral for like really the lower level kind of shit. Negative shit. You know what I mean? They don't want us going viral for doing positive energies shit.
Is controlling
we go viral by doing negative shit. Go outside, see the old head, the OG in the neighborhood, somebody's uncle who probably drank Wild Irish Rose every day by 7 o'clock in the evening, out there scrapping with some YN that's probably like 22, 23 years old. And everybody got their cameras out trying to see if the young head gonna knock out the old head or the old head gonna sleep the young head. That's bullshit. We really should be like, come on, bro, have some respect for your elders, little bro. Hey, this all good, OG. Try to understand his frustration or his discouragement. See, all this shit is by design, Wallow.
Meanwhile, me and you just now got called over to go to London Correctional Institute, one of our prisons in Ohio besides London or Madison, wherever jail they might send us to go do a show, to go meet a couple guys that's got 35, 40 years for the little crimes they committed that got them football numbers.
Yeah.
However, we wouldn't posted that on our Facebook page. We got 323 likes, maybe 9 shares. When we go to the next part of the Facebook page and we go to the scene you just said when the YN was knocking out the old head, they got 935,000 likes and views. They got 442 shares.
Quick.
See, so the
something
negative
that we laughing at. It's something to laugh at.
The negative connotations and energies that they use to pollute our young people are at an all-time high. So when they talk about artificial intelligence, there's what's artificial to me right there.
Yeah.
When they give these images and perspectives for our young people to use as fuel to get likes and views instead of cooperating with going to a barbershop and supporting this black barbershop in your neighborhood or this Hispanic barbershop in this neighborhood versus Wallaby going to go sell some CDs or, excuse me, you know that's out of style. You see that sometimes I get lost. Popping my trunk trying to sell some items and goods because all the stores is closed down in this neighborhood because people have been stealing out the store so much. So people say, where the boosters at? Where the boosters at? No, I ain't snitching. I ain't backing down on nobody's hustle. But what I'm saying is when they say, where the boosters at? Well, what about our store? What about the store? What about the stores we opened up in that neighborhood? What about that store we opened up in that neighborhood to try to feed our community, to shop with us so we can make our profit margin off the same trucks that was pulling up, bringing us these goods that y'all want to go steal? I mean, I go in a Family Dollar. In fact, they closed almost every Family Dollar in the city of Columbus. When you go to a Family Dollar right now, I play no games with you, man. Last week I'm in the store standing there. Some guys come in the store. They steal everything that they touch, walk out the store. The lady said, we ain't allowed to chase them. We ain't allowed to stop them. I said, well, no wonder every Family Dollar on the north side is closed. No wonder every Family Dollar and Dollar Generals are closing now because they rob them blind. The stores we get to buy things for $1 with for our mom and our aunts and uncles, the people that's on Social Security, the people that's still getting welfare, food stamps, the ones that's got unemployment checks waiting to be cut because of the people in power. They go back on student loans and garnish people's wages like back in the day. If you had federal loans and you couldn't make payments on this education you tried to pay for to do your community a better justice. See, I don't mean to be all this preaching demonstration, but I do mean it because the conversation is knowing your worth and knowing your value in your hood and your community. Why do we go against our own neighborhood and community intentionally?
We the easiest targets, man. So we all going through the same hell. And we fighting against a giant that it's not enough of us that feel confident in and of ourselves to go against. So we project onto the easier targets, each other.
Well, like I asked you earlier, in the conversation when we start talking about our raps, our bars, our lyrics, and where we come from when we rap, you got a different style. You got a different genre of your raps now. We can try to compare you to whoever we want. I've seen a lot of the artists that you tapped into since you've been out where you at in Phoenix?
Yeah, I'm in Phoenix.
So he went to the West Coast. And you would think he was going to go...
Southwest region.
You thinking he going to go to California and try to rhyme like the Californians, he gangbanging. No. This guy got a whole different type of demonstration. Where can they find you at again? Where can they find you? Just so if they want to go listen to this.
On YouTube, type in Glow Muchacho, it should populate. Ricardo Nunez, a.k.a. Glowie Muchacho. Remember that. In case, you see other, Glow Muchachos or whatever. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be that common. But.
Well, he's always been an intellectual guy to me. When we did our first record, I want to say maybe, I'm going to say 20 years ago, when I met him and he went by a new name back. He was Michael.
Yeah, Michael, that's my first name.
He was Michael then, before he was Glow. He came to the studio with Big Mar, King Art, Don G, C Magic, Wallaby.
Prism.
We got in the studio. We got in the studio and we got busy. Rest in peace to Prism, hip hop legend in this Ohio, this Midwest region in the industry. However, what I want to say is this: I really got a lot of respect for the way you rhyme, the way that you put your words and your bars together. I'm talking about member of TOG, Takeover Gang. I'm talking about a whole lot of those guys. Of those guys from Columbus, Ohio that did their work. I mean, I can name a whole lot. I got a project with AU. He was one of the main producers out of y'all's camp. Rest in peace, 7. Cocky Ozzy.
Cocky Ozzy.
Listen.
R.I.P. Ness Words.
Ness Words, absolutely. So that was a clan of guys right there that was so dangerous. I mean, they was so dangerous in Columbus, Ohio when they come. Them guys were so deep because there was so many of them. And I know we can keep on naming so many guys that was in TOG.
Great, man.
And Scrape, I'm talking about, and we definitely couldn't have forgot about the homie, man.
That caught me off guard too. They all catch me off guard with it, bro.
So when you think about how many guys was in that team, and then when you think about the guys that's actually lost their life and that's gone and will never come back to this planet Earth, we have to give them a big up and a big respect for whatever it is that they done while they was here. But for the ones that's still here, What are you doing with your life? And I ain't talking about TOG no more. I'm talking about just in general for all of my artists, all of my males out there that got children. You got children. You're a father.
Yes, sir.
How many children you have, sir?
I got 3 altogether, man, to my knowledge. You know what I mean? A 23-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I love my babies, and they know it so. You know what I mean? In spite of whatever kind of lies they heads get filled up with. You feel me? They know how their daddy feel. They know where I stand. And I'm always had a back.
And as a father figure, what is it that you want to teach your babies the most about this life? When you get a chance to see them and they in your care and you get a chance to fill their heads with whatever information, what is it, the fatherhood in you? What's so great about your fatherhood, if you was able to share that?
I'm the conscious parent, you know what I mean? I'm the parent that's going to lead by example. It's not always, hey, do as I say. Do what I say, not as I do. I'm just going to lead by example. I'm going to show them what to do. Show them what not to do. Point out the consequences of each. There's always consequences, but it's going to be either good consequences or bad consequences. So when it comes to your decision-making skills, you just got to think about what consequences you willing to live with. If it's good or bad. What consequences do you want? Make your decisions based off of that. Because once you make the decision and commit to it, you got to get what comes with that decision. Whether it's good or bad. Ain't no way around it. So I try to lead by example and show my kids the mistakes I make and how I learn from those mistakes and prevent making the same mistakes. You know what I mean? And my kids can look at me and see that I progress in life. I don't regress. I go up, not down. I'm about building, not destroying. We always one decision away from either building or destroying. And we can be our own best friend or our own worst enemy. It's up to us based on what thought patterns we going to give into the most, because we the ones got to direct the traffic from inside here. So positive energy activates constant elevation and negative energy does the exact opposite. When that's clear, now we know what consequences we're going to get with the decisions we make.
And you know,
that's what I teach my kids.
And me tapping in right there, a positive perspective produce a positive performance. And I ain't even competing with ones he just said. What I'm saying is, in my lane as a parent, I got a 23-year-old son. I got a 20-year-old daughter, 12-year-old son. I raised a guy that's 33 since he was about 6, just like my son. I got a grandson now, so I'm in grandfather mode. So for me, self-preservation is very important to me. I can't afford to go somewhere and let somebody make me crash out, jump over the edge just because he called me out my name. So for anybody out there in this world that think they can take me out my hookup by just saying, "Oh, Wallaby, I'll do this to you."
Part of my back, kid.
Be careful.
It's your world.
Be careful what you say you're going to do to me, because, see, I take it real serious. I take it serious when you threaten me. I take it serious when I feel like I'm going to be in harm's way because of your words, because the mental health
You can't unsay that shit.
Listen, the mental health part is what we use now. Words. See, because of words they use, and they respect the drug abuser and blame it on the music and put us in the cruiser. Because of good music, you're going to respect my movement. All this mental abuse made y'all respect the shooter. See, you think because he used these tough words, you respect him. They was talking about these YNs the other day. They was saying how us older guys are afraid. Now, I don't know what guys they was talking about. They definitely want to talk about people from my era. They say, man, y'all scared of the YNs. Y'all let the YNs, they get away with everything. They got their mask on, they scare you. No, these YNs is our nephews. These YNs is our sons. These is our homeboys' kids. These is our neighbors' kids. We ain't afraid of no YNs. If anything, we want to try to give them guidance. Where I come from, I'm all about giving guidance. I'm all about trying to build with these young brothers. Young niggas? This ain't what this is about. This ain't about us trying to put the YNs down. This ain't about me going against any young dude out there right now who consider himself a YN because I'm saying I'm trying to give you some game. You could call me Unc all you want. You can ask me for a couple of dollars all you want. It's some young brothers out there that got big money and they ain't YNs. I'm going to call them YBs, some young brothers, because they like to try to torture our brains with these words. Again, it's the words they try to implant in our mind. that make us weak when it comes to our own kind, to make us scared of our own kind. So when you go in the parking lot of a place and you see a lady lock her door, she'll lock the door if it's a YN or ON. You or me, they gonna lock their door.
We all look like goons.
This is when it gets spooky though. When me and you lock our door, when we see a young brother, because we know what they could be capable of, or how suspicious he do look when it's 82 degrees and he's walking past your car in a mask, and it looks like he's got a big ratchet with a strap and he could have a switch on it. Because we all know that homicides take place at any given moment, but suicides do too, because these young men are really losing their mind with the lack of love they get from uncles, from father figures, from real fathers being absent, from moms who don't care who doing them. Like I met with one of my young students today, and we ain't gonna put no names on anybody, but I deal with young people that contemplate suicide, run away from home, have no other option but to go do something criminal minded, because that's what they was taught. That's what they mom showed them. That's what they dad. Working in the group home for 5 years, I mean, I witnessed some of the craziest. I'm talking about this young man that's dead right now who I feel like I could have saved. My job was to save him while I was there. I went home. I went to go tend to my family. They still had to make choices and decisions. Like you just said, when you make your bed, you lay in it. And if you get killed in your bed, you ain't going to wake up. So the cemeteries is full of young bodies. The prison. I was at a prison 2 months ago. The young homie said, man, my outdate is 2077, 2082, 2066. And I said, man, it's 2026, 2025. Let me stop asking that question. See, me overcoming my worth and my value and me trying to rebuild and me teaching health, it's more to health than physical, man.
Facts, man.
We got our emotional.
It's mental, emotional.
We got our spiritual.
And physical and spiritual.
We got our mental. Man. See, so Muchacho, better known as Glow, better known as Michael, I appreciate you for even coming through while you was in the city. For having me, brother. So we can even just break down a little bit more on why we have this time to set and build and talk about real life. And I told him that next time he come, I'm going to have my microphone, I'm going to have the instrumental ready so he can get busy to show y'all what he really do. I really feel bad that we ain't even doing that right now because he's a monster. And I don't know, I wish I could play a beat right now, but we ain't got the demonstration all the way set up. So I just want to let y'all know for the fact that we met here, and this is really a new studio that we gear start using from Federal to Incredible podcast. This is what we gonna be doing here pretty soon for all the ladies, all the fellas that's been to federal prison. No hate on the state, but if you've been to federal prison and you was really getting down when you went and took your hustle to another level and you got picked up and you got caught or you got told on or whatever happened to you, jammed yourself up, whatever you was doing, if the feds picked you up and you went and did your time and then you came home and you became what they call incredible because of the life changes you made, the things that you did
life
differently.
Decisions you made.
When you came home and made a decision to change your demonstration in society to help your family, to help yourself, to help your community. That's what this From Federal to Incredible podcast is all about. So I'm only introducing that because I'm in the home of From Federal to Incredible. We're going to be introducing people to y'all that y'all never heard of. You might have heard of them, but you haven't seen them since they changed their demonstration. We are making decisions in life right now as black men. And I say black men because we two strong black men sitting in front of this camera, and we ain't gonna do nothing but keep giving you truth about where we stand on this music, where we stand on our family, what we stand on these women, what we gonna stand on when it comes to the principles of life. I call it the 12 Jews. I call it the 3 4s. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, justice, equality, freedom, food, clothing, and shelter, love, peace, and happiness.
Right on.
Without the love, the peace, it's hard to be happy. Food, clothing, and shelter. I mean, each man needs that to survive. Indeed. And as follows the equality and the freedom and the justice. Those are the things that get us entangled. When we play with the law, when we go against the hood, or we go against the community, or we love doing the wrong, when we love doing the negative, when we love affiliating ourselves with
so
poison.
Cool. It looks so fly to do the negative shit. You know, the shit that's destroying us, and we look good doing that. You know, that one of the things that over the years, over the centuries, actually, you know what I mean? Time and time again with our family and traditions and all that, we make all the negative shit look good. That's something we just got as a gift. We can make anything look good. Why are we so good
at it, though? Like, how are we so good at making negativity look better than the positive?
Because the powers that be, you know, they forced that shit on us. You know, forced it on all kind of bullshit on us, and made it seem like our choices were either follow what they was pushing on us or die, pretty much.
You ain't cool if you ain't selling crack.
You ain't cool.
You ain't cool if you ain't snorting powder.
You ain't a man if you won't smack.
You ain't no real OG if you won't slap that girl in her mouth right now for calling you a B.
Are you married? Or what? Your wife got you wrapped up in some panties, nigga?
You got a family?
Got a curfew?
Man, you lame if you got a family.
Curfew, my nigga.
If you taking care of your kids and your sons with your wife, man, you are lame to us.
Nah, you know, the cool shit is cheat on your wife. The cool shit is cheat on your husband, right? What did Pharrell Williams say on that? Dropping
man,
like this
forget smoking blunts. I want some fentanyl.
Motherfucker said cheat on your man, girl. That's how you get in his head, right?
Please, let me pop some pills right now, man. That's going to make me sweet. They going to buy my album. Do we got some lean? Hey, any of y'all got some lean back there? Codeine. Hey, pour us some of that codeine. Please bring us some promethazine. Please. Some of that so we can go viral. We'll get millions of views because of this, right?
Yeah, man. That's self-destruct, man. You know, as long as we willing to self-destruct, we winning.
Well, so understanding.
You're right, nigga.
Wisdom, knowledge. I said knowledge, wisdom, and understanding was the last three things when we went backwards on these 12 Jews. So understanding that the negativity is what fuels our community the most.
And that's just crazy, you know?
So to be wise and to use your wisdom, you got to be 40, 50, 60 years old to know what you should have been doing. So the knowledge...
Not necessarily. It just sucks that it's so many times when we do wake up, we didn't already surpass.
So when does the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding come into play? From what you just said with the negative love that they give negativity, where does the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding come? Once we all made the mistakes, once we all been to jail, once we all been shot, once we all been killed.
Life is the best teacher.
Experience.
Some people, experience, boom. Some people learn by their own mistakes. Some people learn from others' mistakes. The ones who can learn from others' mistakes usually don't end up making those mistakes and having to learn from them.
I tell my young people that all the time. If you're going to make it in this life, look at the choices and poor decisions other people made now.
Look where it got them.
The mistakes they made is the best teacher. I told my mom and that. My dad, he might not have been there for me like he should have been. But I watched everything he did, everything my cousins did, everything my uncles did. What not to do. They say Wally was the good one. They say Wallaby, he was just such and such of the family. He never did. Oh, he was scared. Or he would have done this. Or he would have told on them. Or this, that. Guess what? I learned from their mistakes what not to do. Put me down any way you can. Use all the negative verbs, all the adverbs and syllables and adjectives and nouns, all you want to put me down. I'm paying attention what not to do.
Facts.
And that's what I'm doing to this day. I'm using my words. I'm using my pronouns. I'm using my adverbs. I'm using my adjectives. Mm-hmm. I'm using my syllables. I'm using my pronunciation. Mm-hmm. I'm using my communication. I'm using every single theory, any theoretical way of words, knowledge, wisdom to understand what I better still be doing to this day. Because all it takes is one bad choice, one bad moment, one poor... You follow one bad individual.
One decision being made within 5 minutes based off of a temporary emotion.
1 to 2 seconds.
You 25 to life in prison.
1 to 2 seconds damage your young son. 1 to 2 seconds will damage your young daughter. They pulled her into this room, convinced her to start dancing for dollars because mom and them said that you had to move out, so you had to resort to dancing. Now they done had you snort this little powder or pop this pill. All it took was one time for some. For the young homie who wanted to jump in the car with him because they had a stolen car and you ain't have nothing else to do, they done poured out all this money. They done poured out all this money and showed you all this money that they stole.
Adrenaline
rush. They stole from somebody else.
They
robbed from somebody else. See, what I'm trying to say.
From some shit like that.
Before we make this a closed chapter on this book right here we just gave y'all, I hope you understand. You teach your sons and your daughters the right way. It's going to help my daughter and son go the right way if they meet your son or your daughter. See, the hate just keep growing when you teach hate. All I can say is if you can sell love to get love, man, I'll be a rich man because I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing but put out positive efforts, positive energy, nothing but good words in my demonstration on a daily basis. If you catch me out my hookup, it's rare. If you catch me cussing somebody out mad,
and it took a lot to get there. You see,
I ain't no perfect guy. I definitely got an attitude. I definitely got to change some things about myself.
To negative shit. We not always so quick
to respond
to some negative shit. You know, it really do be a poke at the bear effort. And then when the bear finally maul your ass, society mad at the bear.
You know, it hurts my feelings sometimes when people put me down. Like that's one thing I really don't really love. Like as much as you try to be like, I guess the perfect man or the perfect
which
guy,
don't exist.
It's impossible to be perfect. I ain't never gonna be that. I ain't never even trying to be that. But when you do your best, when you do your best efforts to try to show the people what you stand for, and then you get somebody that act like they really know you, and then here they come tearing you down for something you did, and it could have been something you helped 1,000 people with.
Or
one person didn't like your demonstration.
You did. You might not even actually did it. It's just an allegation.
God. Now when you get
it's a chain letter.
So before we close this off now, I know you told me you wasn't really familiar with this Shannon Sharpe thing that's been going on. And I really don't like to get into the superstars and the famous and the rich people.
Right.
But he's in the limelight right now because they say that he was dealing with a female who was only 20 years old and he's going on 50, 52, whatever his age is. The backlash is that most of the women is upset that not only is she a young lady, 20, but she's a white girl. So, you know, the race card is dangerous when it comes to that. But this sexually assault that they putting on him, I'm going to skip all the race talk.
Which technically is a verbal, right?
So you said it's verbal sexual assault. Is
basing it off what I'm hearing, it sounds like it was a verbal exchange. And now he facing allegations of sexual assault.
$50 million, $10 million, $2 million, $1 million. See, when you think about Tupac, when you think about Mike Tyson, when you think about Jay-Z, when you think about Sean Puffy Combs, when you think about all the sexual assaults that's ever been inflicted upon a black male, any man in general. They said Skip Bayless has a situation going on with some women. All I'm saying is, should women be able to put us in the position to take our livelihoods away because they flirted with us, took those panties off, threw them at us, climbed on top of our necks in a live setting in front of all these people, and then say we raped them after 5 to 10 different encounters. We didn't have sex with this girl 10 different places. We didn't have, I'm talking about she didn't gave us oral sex in 5 different places. I'm talking about we got text messages dating back months of different conversations we done had. Of course we didn't fell out. Of course we had an argument. Of course we didn't have an agreement because of something. How can they go back and say he raped me? And then when it hits the media, when it hits the podcasters, when it hits Facebook and social media and we want to get likes and views, we switch the story to get our views and likes up. Now we make Glow and Wallaby look guilty of something that was totally false. And now we got to give back our contracts. We got to turn down our sponsors. We got to apologize to the world about being a man who loves a woman's body, her curves. In fact, every video I've been posting for my new single called She Bad. Lately, it's been women in bikinis, women with these voluptuous rears. I've been trying to post the ones that have real ones because I'm not a real big fake lover. No disrespect to the ladies with BBLs, but we've been seeing some crazy stories lately about what's happening to those ladies. And I don't want my daughters, none of my nieces, none of my sisters.
You still grow older. You have a BBL, but you still got to grow older. The BBL is not going to age with you.
So all I'm saying is just that topic right there. You got a BBL, baby, and you done came in here flaunting Do she got a BBL over there? don't let her come in here. I hear sexual assault all day long if we start talking about her.
So something natural, like ask with some stretch marks, my nigga.
So what we saying to y'all, because it's sexually assault from even the ones that got natural butts and stretch marks. So please don't get this twisted like we trying to down you. But what we trying to ask is, what I want to know real quick before we get out of here is, verbal sexual assault. How are we under so much pressure from a verbal sexual assault? Sexual assault is when my daughter come home and tell me she was in a hotel room with 3 guys and all 3 of these guys pressure her into getting undressed and they all had sex with her. They ain't have no relationship. They ain't been texting. They ain't been dating. They ain't been kissing. They ain't been flirting. None of that. Force themselves upon my child or my niece or my cousin. That's a shark. That's sexually assault to me. But sexually assaulting, we've been having relations, we've been having conversations, we've been sexting and texting and DMing and Instagramming and FaceTiming. How can you accuse me of rape after all of this?
You sound like another spoiled brat to me, man. Because society is built that way. It makes it where women can't, all they got to do is break down, cry, and then us men, most of us men, are going to empathize. Oh no, what's wrong, baby? What happened? Somebody hurt you? If they pretty enough, if they sexy enough, one guy will pretend to be the savior and egg it on to make it seem like the other guy is the predator so that he can win points with the same chick as the savior so that he can feed his predatory.
I'm just trying to figure this out, man. Like, is every man guilty of sexual assault then at this point? Because if I think about everything I
think that most straight men, if they say they haven't been with a woman in a while or thirsty enough, can be led into a trap by a woman who has no intentions on giving them any sex, but know that they could use what they got to get what they want. Money, so to speak, or maybe just get this dude to trick on them and buy him shit with no intentions on ever giving that man what he think he gonna get.
I just want to know how many sexual assault cases it would be.
That's okay though.
If a woman knew exactly what you had coming.
That's encouraged.
Or when you meet a man at a bar or a woman in a bar or a club or a library or a church and she knows nothing about your financial status, but she loved the nature of your build. She loved the gold teeth in your mouth or your skin tone or the way you talk or these tattoos on your arms. And she know nothing about your money. But once she find out, oh my God, girl, he got 50 million. He got 10 million. Did you see that car he's driving? It's when the money comes into play. Mm-hmm. Is when the sexual assault allegations begin to rise. Yeah. No disrespect to any rape victims out there. I'm not apologizing for anything. I'm not into any situation with sexual assault. I love the women that I've ever came across, and I've been in the same relationship for a long time, decades. So no disrespect to no woman. I have a daughter and sisters and nieces. But what I'm saying is, for any woman out there that's not even close to being sexually assaulted, accused a man of raping her or taking something from her, and it was because of financial gain. I was telling my guy the other day, out of all the rap shows I've ever done in my life, there's so many women who could have said, Wallaby and them raped me backstage. They did this to us in that studio. Man, we used to have studio sessions, and if girls was coming to the studio, they might not have been there for me. They might have been there for my guy or my other dudes, or the girls like girls.
It's different suites. It's different studios in the same building.
Do you know how many times we could have been accused of sexually assault just because this girl got drunk with her girls and they was throwing up and passed out and we never touched them? We never even came close to any type of sexual assault. But it could have been some allegations if we was millionaires, if we was rich. We could have been in some bad. They could have
just made it up. So, and at the very least, it's going to waste a lot of your time and energy.
And your
that
credibility,
you won't get back,
and your image,
and fuck up your
and
image.
Tarnish your career, and change the whole demonstration of life. Do you know how many brothers is locked up right now that are innocent of these charges?
Because the groupie bit the truth and told a lie.
So I'm just saying, y'all, make sure you pay attention to what's the real truth in our society now. I mean, is artificial intelligence, can they really put me and your face on a body of a man that's raped a girl, make it look like it was us? I'm sure they can.
That shit's scary.
So all I'm saying is we're afraid of what society is bringing to the forefront for us men, because like you said, we should be afraid to even give our honest opinion about something now. Like even our conversation just now breaking down this sexual assault. How many women gonna say, Wallaby, you a dog, Michael, you a dog, I know a girl, you this, you that. No. Don't do it to me now. Don't do it to me now, because we having a conversation about something true.
We the ones trying to uplift y'all.
We are trying to have a conversation for the men out there that we might be able to save and help before they jump over that line. Or the women out there who know that they should have had that man not in court, not a lawyer going against this man because you wanted some money from him, because you didn't go to college, or you didn't work a job, or you didn't have a promising career. So you accuse this man of something that he didn't do. I ain't talking about the rapist. There's men in jail for rape, doing their time, absolutely being killed over it. Brothers and went and got their revenge on them niggas who raped their daughter, or raped their sister, or raped their mama. Absolutely go get the rapists. But we talking about the innocent brothers out there, the innocent young men out there, gearing to graduate from the army, about to go to college. I mean, on his way to the NFL, the NBA, all of that,
NHL,
and
Major League.
You went against every principle in life about being honest and having some moral type of a judgment about yourself, queen.
Just to get a quick bag.
For the ladies who want to just go against the man for the money, I hope that you understand how, allegations is so serious. But see, the money will come back and bite you. I done seen people hit the lottery, overdose. I done seen people lie and cheat and steal for money. They are living worse than all of us, because morally, when you go to sleep, when you lay down, I don't know your conscious state, but I know you said you was conscious a little bit ago. Is your conscious state that strong, where the money you made, you really feel good about what you're doing with it? When you know you was deceptive, when you know you lied, when you cheated this individual out of their life.
You really sleep good at night, knowing all that?
Do you know your worth? Do you know your value? Do you want to be forgiven for the things you've done? Worth, overcoming, rebuilding, teaching health. That's what this segment was about today. I got my brother all the way from Arizona back to Ohio.
Love.
Just coming to represent what real men really should do, and that's set, communicate, and build about truth and where we going from here. This is 2025. We're in the month of April. We almost in May in about 4 or 5 days. And all I wanted to do is get my brother in here, sit down, have a conversation. I really wish he would stand, because we got a show April 26th called Make America Hustle Again. I'm talking about.
I love to be here for that show. And I got to fly
Make
out.
America Hustle Again. April 26th.
I got to fly out a couple days before this
April
show,
25th. Man. Here go Big Boogie. This is a concert. He's performing live. He's going to be at the Crystal Palace, formerly The Truth. We still promote. We still run around with staple guns, putting out flyers and putting up posters. I know right now we live from Federal to Incredible, the podcast studio. And all we did was gave y'all a segment of worth. My name is Wallaby the Realist, a.k.a. Wallow Real. And I'm just letting y'all know a proper demonstration is telling the truth. A proper demonstration is having some morals about yourself. Knowing your value and knowing your worth is key. Learning from other people's mistakes. Interviewing brothers who going to give you the real, the honest opinion. A father, a businessman, a professional, a hip-hop artist and icon. He been doing this for 20 years or more, and he just getting started. We just getting started!
Or just getting recognized, because we been started. You know what I mean?
Ain't no mystery, man.
Mind over matter, man.
Make America hustle again. Know your value, know your worth. Worth, overcoming, rebuilding, teaching health. I'm Wallaby the Realist.
I'm Ricardo Nunez, a.k.a. Glowie Muchacho, man.
And we going to keep it moving. Y'all be blessed, and y'all see us on the next segment. Look out for the homie, man. Tell them again where they can find you and your name and who you are, bro.
On YouTube, man. Just type in Glowie Muchacho, man. You should see Ricardo Nunez, a.k.a. Glowie Muchacho. Follow me on IG at Glowie Muchacho. That's GL.